I want to go over a little bit about oil prices, and I know they've been dropping recently. I know that Lindsey made a prediction back in, I don't know, it was on Alex Jones, and to tell you the truth, I think Alex Jones has a lot of pretty good information, but I kind of find him aggravating to watch because he's a little bit too, I don't know, too crazy. I mean, he gets a little too worked up about things, you know. I mean, he should be, but he just can't throw the facts out there. Well, I don't want to get this off on Alex Jones, but I don't really watch him too much. I paid attention to what Lindsey said back in February, and he said in 9 to 12 months that the oil would be $150 to $200 a barrel. Right now, today, as it stands, it's 77, 78. I don't know. It could be up tomorrow. Oil has been pretty volatile, even though it goes in a range. It seems to be volatile between a $10 range, and you know, either it's between 80 and 90, or 90 and 100, or you know, sometimes it dips down into the 70s. But I think his prediction about the $150 to $200 barrel oil from February, and it said 9 to 12 months, which would put that December 1st, 2011 to February 1st, 2012. So in other words, from December, basically, very end of this year, beginning of next year. I think that it could possibly be true. And, you know, looking at what happened in Libya, it doesn't make sense to me, and I'm suspicious of anything in the markets, to tell you the truth. I know people sometimes bitch at their rig, but it don't matter as long as you get it right. You know, I tell you the truth, I'm getting this wrong on you all because I just stuck with it, and I didn't, well, I have other reasons I didn't want to show profit, but anyway, just sticking, holding extra long till it goes up to a certain period, certain amount of money, then I'll just sell off. But I think he's basically right about this, to tell you the truth. And I'm seeing a lot of little signs, and I don't think I'm reading too much into this where I'm wishing the oil's going up. Because, you know, recently, and this was, I think this was as of actually of last October, you know, a year ago, that Iran became the new president of the OPEC. But just recently, and I guess this was in August, that Qasemi, this Rostam Qasemi of the Revolutionary Guards of Iran, became the new petroleum minister, and he went to the meeting in Vienna, and they said he was a lot tougher to deal with than the Saudis. And they said like the Saudi target price of $100 a barrel looks like a bargain compared to what the Iranians want. The Iranians roughly need $140 a barrel to stay afloat in their economy. That's a spread of $50 or something a barrel, which will cause a tug of war within the cartel and all this kind of stuff like that. And Iran and Venezuela are pushing for the highest prices possible. To tell you the truth, I don't know how strong that is, how strong an argument that is. But you know, this is an article by Gal Luft. There may be some truth to it, but they just might be looking for somebody to blame the prices that are going up on. And as you know, if the price goes up, everybody across the world charges the price. That's the price that's charged by the American companies, the British companies, you know, everywhere. But if they want to blame it on OPEC, you know, even you got some things here by Boone Pickens coming out about the Pickens plan. I personally, I like a lot of what he says, but he blames OPEC on setting the price of oil. I don't know how true that is or not. But he also said that we take in 20 million barrels a day of oil, and of that 13 million barrels is foreign oil, 7 million barrels is domestically produced. Of the 13 million barrels foreign oil, 5 million comes from the OPEC nations, and what his plan was to get us on natural gas for the 18-wheel fleet, 18-wheel trucker fleets going to natural gas. He would need $1 billion a year, but actually we spent $1 trillion going out to OPEC for foreign oil in the last decade. So we'd be cutting back on a lot of that, a lot more of that. It would provide 500,000 jobs for Americans in the industry. That was something else he came up with. The bill is H.R. 1380, Natural Gas Act. And I think that's actually a good idea because natural gas is very clean. I know there's problems they talk about with the fracking, but I think it has a lot to do with methods. And I mean, even the oil in the Gulf could have been taken out better, and there could have been no spill if they were doing things the correct way versus the fast wrong way. And it was so stupidly done that I almost feel it was deliberate, as crazy as that sounds, because they really, you know, I think you could do these type of things as long as you understand what you have to do and put controls in place so you don't screw up the environment. So, but I think Pickens has some very good plans. He set up the windmill farms a couple of years ago. He bought from General Electric all those turbines, and he has the windmill farms. They don't produce a significant amount, like as a percentage-wise, of the nation's energy, but they still are step in the right direction, and they will run and run and run and run and run. I mean, they'll just keep going. You know, he's a proponent of nuclear energy, and I know there's other types of safer nuclear energy that we use that we could be using, but we use the type that produces plutonium because plutonium is in nuclear bombs, and that's why that's another reason nuclear is unsafe. There's a lot of issues, but to get back to this again, he talks a lot about OPEC, and you know, like they're the enemy. And we got to stop all the oil coming from them, and I'm saying that dovetails right exactly into what Lindsey says. So he's saying that, you know, Pickens says that OPEC sets the price of oil. I don't know, maybe they do, but sometimes I wonder who the hell really sets the price of oil. And you know, I heard some traders and commodity dealer, one of them anyway, who's been around a long time. He talks about the West Texas interchange, the WTI. You know, the spread between that and the Brent is so great, and that actually the price that's really being charged for oil to the refineries is closer to the Brent. That's why you're seeing higher prices at the pump, even though you're seeing like $80 an barrel crude oil on the WTI. You're really being charged more like $100 a barrel, more like what's going on with the Brent. And that makes sense. Used to only be a couple dollars difference between WTI and Brent oil, but now it's like, I don't know, $25 or something, and the spread seems to be getting bigger. But getting back to like demonizing the Saudis and all this kind of stuff, I don't know when his site was started, and I think it's maybe around the Canadian tar sands. It's ethicaloil.org. And, you know, you look at your, you know, Saudi Arabia's, here's the articles on the front page. I mean, I don't want to laugh about this, but I mean, it's almost like you could see, you know, Senate stands up against Saudi censorship, Saudi Arabia's fake progress, why stable oil is ethical, Saudi women might get more rights than animals. I mean, I don't know, this stuff, I mean, it's really, now does that fit right in what Lindsey says? Yeah, not that he said it, but somebody told it to him, right? So, you know, OPEC members collectively hold 79% of the world's crude oil reserves, 44% of their world's crude oil production. I don't know how true that is because, you know, what Lindsey said or what he was told. But to tell you the truth, I don't buy into all the information that Lindsey gets because the shale oil, even though it could be all these barrels and billions of barrels that they have, that doesn't mean you can produce it at a fast enough rate because that type of oil isn't pumped out of the ground. It's like liquid. There's a heck of a lot more that goes into it. Just like the tar sands. Can't be, there might be a lot of oil up there, but it doesn't mean they can produce it at a fast enough rate. It's not like it's Libyan oil. Libyan oil comes out of the ground, it's like, I forget how many barrels of Saudi oil it's worth. And you know, that's another thing. Libyan oil is not come back on production. They say like the rebels or whatever they were is, you know, I don't know, who they're funded by, the bankers, you know, it could be, right? They say that Gaddafi no longer has control of the country, but I doubt that. But the point is, the 1.6 million barrels per day production of Libya is still only down to like 10 to 15% of what it was, and it's going to take about a year or maybe more. Some are saying up to 2 or 3 years to get it 100% back on production. So right now the Saudis are pushing 9.5 million barrels a day. Everybody, I think they're tapped. Some people are saying they're tapped out. That's all they can really do. And you got this new thing coming on with Iran saying and Venezuela telling people to cut back, and China globally. China is actually using up more oil. What they'll put us a story out is about the rate of increase has slowed. The rate of oil consumption by China is increasing every year, but it's not accelerating as fast. Big difference. They use 10 million barrels a day. We use 20 million barrels a day. But their demand is coming on stronger and stronger. And it doesn't take much of a demand in excess of supply to really drive that price up fast. So we got the perfect reason right now, or saying it's these people, it's OPEC demanding $140 a barrel for oil, because we got this new petroleum minister from Iran who's a tougher guy than the one that was in there before. I mean, it kind of all fits. So I tell you the truth, I think Lindsey Williams' prediction might happen, even though it's not his prediction. He was told it. I think that might be very, very good information still.